Greetings Mavericks and new viewers. Tonight, direct and live from the Maverick News Network World Studios. This is Maverick News with Rick Walker.
They're coming home. They're almost back. Artemis 2. Almost back to Earth. Getting ready for the big splashdown. We're going to have it for you right here. Live tonight. We have other news to bring to you tonight as well. Of course, the Iran-U.S. peace talks kicking off. Things not looking good. We'll tell you why. Also, tonight, the Ostrich story. The story that just won't go away. Highlighted by the CBC documentary on the Fifth Estate overnight. It's available online. I watched the whole thing, and I'll tell you, well, I'll give you a little bit of review on that tonight, and then at some point you might want to go watch the whole thing. It's an interesting doc, that is for sure. What else do we have for you tonight? Shocking, horrific post from who else? The President of the United States tonight on Truth Social. I'm going to show you what he posted. But let's go first right now, before we do anything else, to the official live feed tracking Artemis 2 tonight. En route to Earth.
Towards its splashdown at just a velocity of just 19 miles an hour. And that will begin the recovery operations that you just heard Megan Cruz discuss with her folks on the USS John Murtha. All of Integrity's systems in great shape. The crew is suited up. Leak checks complete as we stand by for the next major milestone, which will be the crew module service module separation just 24.5 minutes from now.
This will be potentially the most dangerous part of the entire mission. Re-entry. When that capsule comes in, it will be traveling at about 25,000 miles per hour.
All of the activities from the start of entry interface to the point of splashdown will be quite rapid fire. Just 13.5 minutes from the point at which we begin descent into the Earth's atmosphere till splashdown. And just to show you, as Rick Shearing, the flight surgeon, alluded to in his interview with Megan Cruz, all of this happens to decelerate the vehicle from traveling around Mach 33 to just 19 miles an hour at splashdown. All of that happening in just 13.5 minutes. But the vehicle and the parachutes are all designed to support all of that. So we'll be standing by to report all that to you in sequential fashion as these milestones are ticked off and as we hear from the crew during its entry back into the Earth's atmosphere, and ultimately when they emerge from the blackout period, and at that point we'll be just minutes away from splashdown. So with all of those preparations ongoing, we can return here briefly for another report from the USS John P. Murtha and Megan Cruz. Megan? And we'll regain that communication with the USS John P. Murtha just momentarily. In the meantime, everything is on track aboard Integrity, the flight control team here in Houston, led by Entry Flight Director Rick Henfling. The voice you will hear talking to the crew is that of Jackie Mahaffey. She will be reporting everything to the crew and receiving their reports as they enter the Earth's atmosphere for their 13.5-minute plunge back into the atmosphere for splashdown off the coast of San Diego. Now we have the ship back with us and Megan Cruz aboard the USS John P. Murtha. Megan?
11 balloon, right? Hey, Rob, yeah, the excitement is really building here on the ship. I'm watching right now one of the weather balloons being lofted up from the ship. Again, weather balloons, very important for us to make sure that we are tracking the right kind of weather and also the data that's needed for what's called our Sasquatch team. Again, it's a team out of NASA that basically makes sure that the debris that comes off of Orion, again, some of those pieces of the parachute system, make sure that they don't fall on us here in the sea, and also our aerial assets, our folks in helicopters. So watching that float away right now. But with me right now is Captain Eric Kenny. He's the commanding officer of the John P. Murtha naval ship. Thank you so much for being here. There are so many moving parts that you have to keep an eye on.
That's absolutely right, yeah. But first of all, on behalf of the crew of USS John P. Murtha, Megan, thanks for having me on today. Happy to tell you what we're doing and excited to get the interview started.
Yeah, absolutely. Why don't we actually take a look at the flight deck here? We'll start there. Basically, we also, while watching this weather balloon float away, we noticed all 4 helicopters leave the flight deck. We now have an empty flight deck. We had 2 imagery helos as well as the 2 crew helicopters that will go recover the crew. This is just one of the many things that, again, our ship of 550 people, it's something that you oversee as commanding officer.
Yeah, absolutely. Every commanding officer, I would say really every naval service member, our priority is always safety. And as the commanding officer, I take that as one of my primary roles here on board. Mission accomplishment is important, safety always. So my day really has, I would say my message to the crew has sort of changed over the past 24 hours. As we're leading up to today, we've been building up the excitement and motivating the team for the training that we've executed. But really over the past 24 hours, now I'm trying to get us to slow down a little bit. Trust our training, right? Don't believe all the hype. Don't believe everything that's going on. Just let's trust what we've done to get to this point, and if we do that, we'll be successful today.
Mm-hmm. And also part of the big success is obviously the coordination between NASA and the U.S. military. How does it feel being able to support the human space program we have?
Yeah, I mean, since 1959 with Mercury, Gemini, Apollo, the history between NASA and the Navy has been in lockstep. But like any other skill, if you don't practice it regularly, that skill atrophies. So we've had a few decades off from that. But, over the past 4 or 5 years, really with this ship over the past year, we've constantly trained and working for this moment right here. Building up the hype, but to get to this point today, to be able to trust all the training we've done. We've worked with, working with NASA, the Air Force, the medical team, dive team. You want to talk about high-performance organizations coming together, working in unison? We are seeing that here on board the USS John P. Murtha, and I can't be more proud of all the work everyone's doing. Yeah,
you had some great words this morning saying just that, again, that it's really nice to see everybody working together and so excited. I mean, you just became the commanding officer of this ship back in February. How does it personally feel for you to be a part of this historic moment today?
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, I'd say any opportunity to command any warship in the United States Navy is a tremendous honor, is a pinnacle of any naval officer's career. That being said, as my change of command was approaching, and I realized that Artemis was going to be in the window here, to say that I'm humbled and honored to be here is an understatement. What really just excites me is the opportunity to see this crew, who has been training so hard over the past year plus, come together. It is what inspires me. Listening to NASA and the ownership and pride they take, they make my crew better. I think we're making NASA better together. That synergy is something that I'm happy to see and hopefully take forward with me in my career.
Yeah, it's all about partnerships. We couldn't do it without you, and we couldn't have gotten to the moon without our international partners as well. So thank you so much, Captain. It was really great to have you here today.
Thanks, Megan.
Awesome. All right, Rob, back to you.
Thank you, Megan. Back here in Mission Control in Houston.
Okay, let's dip out of this. We'll be dipping in from time to time through the evening. We're now less than an hour away from splashdown. We have other news to cover tonight. Plus, it's Maverick Midnight Matinee night. We have a feature presentation, and if you can guess the movie, I will send you a free t-shirt. I will. A Maverick News t-shirt. In any color you want, as long as it is black. Be right back.
Greetings, brave Mavericks. Our quest for truth continues. We go beyond fake news. Together we expose propaganda. Together we pull others out of rabbit holes. We are maverick thinkers. We are all unique individuals, defenders of individual rights and freedoms, credible, trusted, grounded in reality. Maverick News, Maverick News. Defending free speech, free speech. Donate at freedomreporters.com. Do it now. Tomorrow may be too late. Maverick News. The world is watching. Maverick News. The world is watching.
Well, the Strait of Hormuz still at a standstill tonight. Oh, I know, it's supposed to be the best deal ever, the best ceasefire, leading to peace, blah, 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 blah. And that's what we're getting on social media from the president. But Donald Trump tonight accusing Iran of violating its ceasefire promises. He's saying they're doing a very poor job of opening the key Strait of Hormuz, which is basically a liquid highway. Only a handful of ships have made their way through the waterway since the agreement was almost put into place. It's not really a ceasefire. We still see conflict, real strikes happening inside Lebanon. Israel and Iran-backed Hezbollah exchanged new strikes overnight after massive Israeli attacks this week threatened to collapse the whole deal. Israel says that it planned direct talks with Lebanon, but the Lebanese government has not responded yet. And J.D. Vance is saying he thought peace talks with Iran were going to be positive. But he's also issued a hardline warning saying that Iran better not be trying to play us. Those are his words. Here's Trump today teeing things up for the delegations in Pakistan.
As a criteria, no nuclear weapon. That's 99%.
Here we go.
Good deal look like.
Here's what he's looking for.
No nuclear weapon, number one. You know, I think it's already been regime change, but we never had that as a criteria. No nuclear weapon. That's 99% of it. Strait of Hormuz as well? Yeah, but that'll open up automatically. The answer is yes, but the strait will open up. If we just left, the strait's going to, otherwise they make no money. So the strait's going to open, but what we have is no nuclear weapon, but we'll open the strait anyway. Don't forget, we don't use the strait. Other countries use the strait. So we do have other countries coming up, and they'll help out, but we don't use it.
So that's what he says. That's what a good deal looks like for him. That was the question. But he keeps changing his tune. Says it's not regime change, but it is regime change, and again, blah, 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 blah. And I think that's about the most accurate analysis you can get. Blah, 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 blah. That's my expert analysis on the Iran-U.S. peace talks. And we have video of these planes arriving in Pakistan, carrying the negotiators, the teams, the big teams. Jared Kushner, Steve Witkoff. Peace brokers worldwide, experts on all things political. Maybe. Here's the video. What we can do now is just kind of sit back and wait a little bit, but it's pretty clear that the ceasefire that was supposed to be a ceasefire is really not a ceasefire. Not really, although it looks like the U.S. is not being attacked, and it doesn't look like the U.S. is firing at anything, but there have been reports of ongoing attacks inside, against other neighboring Gulf states. And we're also seeing reports tonight that the U.S. military continues to ramp up, arm up, replenish, get ready for some sort of a massive strike against Iran. That could just be posturing. It could just be rhetoric as we go through the negotiating process. But Iran also tonight, they clearly have, they're in a position where they really do not trust Trump at all now, especially since the last set of negotiations seemed to be proceeding, and then abruptly the United States launched the attack, which Trump characterized as sort of a surprise attack, and certainly it did come as a surprise because we saw statements being made that everything was going along very well and that a deal looked like it was going to be reached, and then bam, Israel and the United States attacked all at the same time, and now we are where we are at. But Trump clearly looking for an off-ramp. It has certainly fractured the MAGA movement. It sparked really something of a civil war within the MAGA camp. And leading the charge on that is Alex Jones, who has at times been, I think he really has been, a leader, maybe even the most prominent leader of MAGA. But he has given up on Trump, at least for the moment. And it's causing deep division.
I'm just going to scorch earth Trump to get him back on track. Only way to do it is to go after him viciously. You've already shed all over me. And if you try to rub it in, I just, at that point, I don't care anymore. So if you think I've been coming after you, if you think that I'm trying to get clicks by attacking you so the Democrats that don't buy anything from me and don't like me want to put me in jail, if you think I've been on your ass, say one more thing. One more thing out of your mouth. And Laura Loomer, send him this, okay? One more thing. When I've gone through hell back in your ass because you were the lesser of two evils, then I'm going to show you how the cow ate the cabbage. Do one more thing. You should be kissing my ass. But instead, you shed all over me and rub it in. I'm not looking for a fight, but if you want one, you came to the right place. So, I'm like a rattlesnake. They're not really aggressive snakes. Water moccasins come after you and bite you. Cobras come after you. I'm like rattlesnakes trying to get away. I'm like, hey, leave me alone. Hey, please don't step on me. God, that really hurts. Please stop. Oh, your daddy's over here. Let me step on your mommy. Let me step on your kids. And I'm just like, all right. I'm like Darth Vader looking at Emperor Palpatine, looking like Skywalker. I'm like, all I'm going to politically throw you down the reactor shaft in 2 seconds. And just, hey, does Alex Jones bluff? No, I don't. You think I'm intimidated by you, Trump, the president of the United States? Think I'm intimidated by your hit teams, all the rest of it? Whatever, man. You got God to deal with. I want to focus on the midterms, the Democrats. I want to promote what's good you're doing. And I want to be left alone. Now, most people would imagine today, if you tune into my show, with Trump viciously attacking me yesterday with a bunch of baseless garbage, that I would just be spending all day attacking him and just creating all the controversial statements I could to just stay in the news. I don't care about getting in the news over some stupid quibble. Again, I have opened up my Google news alerts when your name's mentioned, and there's been 36,000 articles in one day about me. Remember all that?
36,000 articles.
Again, AP's in 25,000, 30,000 publications. So when it hits it, it'll say, 25,000, just one AP article will be that. It's like every day, 10,000, 20,000, 18,000. Some days, 36,000. Every nightly news show. Remember, I'm the devil. I'm hurting families of dead kids. All that garbage. They raised 300 plus million off of charities saying I was victimizing the parents. I did none of it. No one pissed on their graves. No one came to their houses. No one did anything. It was just all made up. But they would say, he's the Sandy Hook guy peeing on graves. Trump runs him. It was to get Trump. So he comes out, as Mark Levin's already done. That's why I think Mark Levin wrote it, because it's word for what Mark's said in the last few months. This guy was terrorized the families of dead kids in Sandy Hook. He deserves to be off the air. He's a bankrupt deadbeat. And then I was reading him saying that last week, even a few days ago. I read this thing. It's Mark Levin, who's the main writer for Sean Hannity, and he writes a bunch of stuff for Trump. He's basically a speechwriter. He's on a terrorism task force for Trump. It's not about me defending myself. It's like, this was the Paul Weiss law firm that sued Trump that ran all this.
Okay, blah, 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 blah. We go back to the wrestling match of the century after this message from Dan Bongino. The drama continues tonight on Maverick News.
Folks, I'm sorry to tell you, but I've been in this business a long, long time. And I am sorry to tell you this because I wish I didn't have to. A lot of the people you put faith in this business in general, behind the scenes are totally different people. Alex Jones is full of shit. I don't know how, I don't really care. You want to listen to his show, fine, go right ahead. This guy is a fraud. I will never forget early on in my political career when I was running for office, I got invited on, I did the network InfoWars a couple of times early on. Listen, I was young in the business, whatever. I went on the show figuring might as well talk to people. You get your name out there. And it's during like a break before I come on. And I'm just telling you, like, the conversation was so disturbing. Oh, well, I'm just going to do it anyway because that's what the audience said. I was like, well, it's probably not a good idea. It's not exactly true. Oh, yeah, well, that's what I couldn't believe it. The guy's a total fake and a phony. It's not real. It's all bullshit.
But now, how can you believe anything that he says? Or how can you believe anything the other guy says? Because it's just all lies. Lie, 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 blah, blah, blah. It's drama. It's, I think, fake fighting quite often. This stuff here, it's just politics as entertainment. That's what these guys really understand. That's why, many of them, including Bongino, they're saying, you can believe me, I'm only bringing you truth when it's clear they're not. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, sometimes they lie, sometimes they engage in drama, and it is entertainment. They're not what I would call journalists, they are influencers. And there is a difference. They're clearly on one side of the aisle, and people are on the other side of the aisle. And the president himself is an influencer. It's just that he's obviously an influencer, self-serving as a politician who says he's not a politician, or said he got into politics because he's not a politician, but now he's clearly a politician, and he is in trouble. As much as this fighting is, I think, a dramatization and theatrical in order to generate clicks and to keep us engaged, keep us watching, right? There's also some reality going on here too. There is clearly some real fighting going on. So this war is a real thing. People are dying. People within the MAGA base, they're split on this. It has created something of a civil war. Trump's in trouble. He knows that. A lot of this is clearly something of a distraction. What's the motivation behind that? Well, some people think it might be partly about the Epstein files. It's hard to say for sure. We never know. It's not like the president's going to come right out and tell you, or tell us, tell the world. But tonight, he did something, well, actually, it was overnight. There was a post. Now, first of all, I have to pivot over and say this. Did you see the post from Prime Minister Carney? The Liberal convention is on, right? It's kicked off. The Liberal Party convention in Canada. And Mark Carney took to social media and posted something that was beyond surprising. And it's just fresh. You probably haven't seen it. But he posted a video of a violent act, which really surprised me, trying to highlight this as an issue. This is a person being bludgeoned to death. Oh, I'm sorry. That wasn't Mark Carney. It was the President of the United States. That's who posted the video of a woman being murdered. Uncensored, unfiltered, raw video, security camera footage. I have to say I was horrified. And I can't find a word tonight to adequately describe the emotions that I think I was feeling at the time. I've never quite felt like this before, and it is all about emotion. Donald Trump is trying to get us all very, very angry. This is all about immigration. I'm going to show you. Here's this post on Truth Social. An illegal alien criminal from Haiti who was released into our country by the worst president in history, crooked Joe Biden, and the radical Democrats in Congress, he boasts, just beat an innocent woman to death with a hammer at a gas station in Florida. The video of her brutal slaying is one of the most vicious things you will ever see. This animal was allowed to stay here, he says, because the Biden administration granted him and all Haitians temporary protective status, a massively abused and fraudulent program which my administration is working to terminate. But deranged liberal district court judges are standing in our way. This one killing should be enough for these radical judges to stop impeding my administration's immigration policies and allow us to end this scam once and for all. To my fellow Republicans and frankly all common sense Americans, never forget, all caps, that Joe Biden and the Democrat Party turned the United States of America into a dumping ground, allowing tens of millions of criminals, lunatics, and the mentally insane from all over the world to pour into our country totally unvetted and unchecked through our open borders, as I've said all along. If you import the third world, you become the third world, and that is what is happening what has happened over the 4 years of Democrat control. We are rapidly trying to reverse this decline through deportations, but if the Democrats are ever given another chance at power, they will immediately reopen the border and allow America to once again be a safe haven for criminals. Please say a prayer for this innocent woman's family. We will ensure quick and severe justice is served in this case. I don't recommend you watch this tape because it is so terrible, but felt I had an obligation to put it up so people can see what Democrats are protecting and wanting to come to our country, even now after all we've been through. Again, viewer discretion advised, not for children. President Donald J. Trump. He's posted the video. Why would he do that? There's going to be a little editorializing here. Why would he post that video? Does he want to make sure they catch the criminal? Does it serve the public interest somehow? He posted the video because he wants to politicize the crime. Normally, something like that would be released by police, handled by police. I assume there's that aspect to it. But I can't think of anything, any politician anywhere who has done something like that. I'm not aware. We've seen, in the past year, a couple of other videos like that. But even those that have been released to the public where you can see these crimes, I don't think Trump actually shared any of those videos until now. It's not so much that the video is out there that shocks me. It's that the President of the United States reposted it. And it isn't that it isn't horrific. It is. It isn't that the crime itself shouldn't be condemned. It certainly needs to be. Should be and has been. It's what's the motivation behind it? What is the perspective on this? Why? Do you know how many people are beaten to death in the United States every year? I wasn't sure, so I went and I looked it up. It depends on the year. But somewhere between 300 and 500 people every year are bludgeoned to death using various objects, murdered under all different circumstances. Then I looked up the demographics, or tried to, the stats, these numbers that I came up with through the day today. Not definitive, but I can tell you that all the stats indicate that on a per capita basis, statistically, people from Haiti far less likely to commit that crime, that kind of crime, than people in other demographic groups, including blacks and whites. Over half are committed by black people, about 40% committed by white people. That number, those percentages in and of themselves don't tell you the full story, because you have to then look at the size of a demographic group, and you can start to break things down. How many by men, how many committed by women, how many in this age group, that age group, socioeconomic factors, where do people live? What are all the different factors that come into play when you're trying to analyze a specific kind of crime or grouping of crime? What are the reasons? What should be done to mitigate the problem? But statistics are numbers. People don't relate to numbers. They're cold. People are detached from those kinds of things. It's the same thing with a genocide. You drop bombs on a country and you can kill tens of thousands of people with impunity. People don't even blink because it's been going on for so long. Bomb entire neighborhoods, wipe out people president can threaten to genocide an entire civilization within the last week. But man, you post that one video. One. That really hits home, doesn't it? Because it's an individual, a person that you see killed. Why would you do that? Because you want people to get upset. You want to show them the horror of something. And in this case, it's to back up his policies on immigration. He's politicizing a crime, which is in itself, because he's the president of the United States, is probably not appropriate, because this is an ongoing investigation. He, by just posting it and adding the comments that he added here, this puts pressure on the legal system. It politicizes the whole thing. It seems to be, I mean, it's more common than not, I think, with crimes of this level in the United States. It's part of the political landscape and environment down there. Viewer discretion advised. I'm not going to run this whole thing. I'm going to pause it. Stop it. So this guy walks up and, yeah, he attacks this woman. He hits her in the head with a hammer and kills her right there. And Trump doesn't blur anything out. He just lets it roll. I'm not going to show it to you. You want to see it? Go over to his Truth Social page. It's brutal. It's horrific. It's disgusting. It's already out there, but he had to share it. What about all the other ones? Why that one? Politics. He wants to single that out because he wants all those people deported, blah, 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 blah. Suspect, Robert Jokin, I believe is how you pronounce his name, 40 years old. This happened in Fort Myers, about 116 miles northwest of Miami. Authorities say he was from Haiti, arrived in the United States in 2022. The woman, identified as a 51-year-old immigrant from Bangladesh and a mother of 2 adult daughters. So Trump posts this overnight on his Truth Social account. Did that while we were live on this program last night. You can have your views on immigration, but this is sensationalistic. This is, in my opinion, too much. It's not, it's unbecoming. It is, it's not for him to do this, in my opinion. He's the president of the United States. He has no filter. I'm not going to run that. It doesn't matter doesn't matter who. It's too much. Social media has taken the filters off on so many things. I used to say, and to some degree I still do, that, you know, when it comes to wars, I thought, you know, we as a society should probably not be filtering or censoring footage from war zones as much as we do, because people need to see the horrors of war so that we know enough not to commit to them. And yet we still get the play-by-play, don't we? We get the fireworks. the explosions, the bright lights, the sparks, the fire, the commentary to go along with that, but it's sanitized, generally speaking. Sometimes we see the videos of the bodies, and even then, a lot of that stuff is blurred, even censored. I'm always careful about what I run because of the YouTube rules. Don't show anything too graphic. Don't show too many bodies. Gonna get you in trouble potentially, right? But man, I'll tell you, like, presidents, governments, they do use propaganda, and they do, before television, before the age of TV, politicians, especially during times of war, have used graphic imagery through words, like to create images in your minds, in our minds, in years past, eras past. But this is just too much. It's literally showing someone being murdered. Trump posted a murder video, a picture of a woman being beaten to death with a hammer. He smashed her in the head with a hammer. What is wrong with our society where that is just posted? If you not blurred out, nothing, just look at that. That'll distract us. And yet we're so desensitized to it now and to what he does that we barely even take note. That's not even the lead story. But when I was teeing this up and I was saying that Mark Carney had done this, I could just sense the blood beginning to boil in people because you just wouldn't expect it from him. And he would never do it. But he does. For him, it's just normal. Just entertainment. A distraction. What, from the Epstein files, from whatever it is. And then last night also, his wife, Melania, news conference. Media comes out. He doesn't even seem to know that she was going to do it. We didn't run it. I didn't get to it. It was, again, we had so much going on yesterday. I can't believe we didn't talk about it, but there she is saying that, all of these allegations directed at her regarding Jeffrey Epstein are untrue. These rumors have to stop. And yet then she goes on to acknowledge that this is actually a problem, saying she's not a victim, but the investigations need to continue into this, and they need to get to the bottom of the whole Epstein scandal, a scandal that Trump himself has said, it's all a hoax. Apparently not. Not to Melania, who is now saying we need more investigation, we need to get to the bottom of it, blah, blah, blah. And then the MAGA war continues, the civil war internally, because Alex Jones even grabbing a hold of this, or at least an aspect of the Trump-Melania soap opera, saying that he thinks that they might be on track for a divorce. And the drama continues.
So this is a existential crisis, the very future of this country and the world. And spanking Trump got him back on course a little bit, but now he's doubled down and coming back at us out of frustration and using us as a distraction from his wife, that looking at the tea leaves and the angles, she may not publicly divorce him, but everything I'm seeing looks like she just flew the coop because she knows what's coming. I think that's a safe bet. I think you all agree with me. It's not just gut level. It's thousands of data points. And I'm sad for Trump on that. But he bet on the wrong horse. He bet on the Israel blackmail.
And now he's in deep doo-doo. Deep doo-doo. All right. Let's go back to Artemis 2. We're getting very close to splashdown. Let's get it up on the screen. Here's the official live feed. Moments away. Let's get the audio up. One minute until entry.
Mark, 1 minute until entry interface.
We will
1 minute, 20
let this
seconds
roll.
until the expected start of our 6-minute blackout.
Integrity, 1 minute to a 6-minute blackout.
Integrity.
Ten seconds till entry interface. And we have crossed the threshold, now entering the Earth's atmosphere. We're at 400,000 feet, traveling 34,800 feet per second. Time to splash down, 13 minutes, 10 seconds. And as predicted, we've entered our communications blackout. This will be a 6-minute blackout period. No voice, no data from the crew.
You ever see the movie The Right Stuff?
From the anticipated point of peak heating on the vehicle, where temperatures will rise to about 4,000 to 5,000 degrees Fahrenheit. This is the true test of our trajectory. And from the G5 aircraft in the vicinity of the splashdown zone, this view of integrity. So that pinpoint of light shows the vehicle as it enters the period of peak heating in the Earth's atmosphere, the first tug of gravity being felt by Integrity's astronauts since their launch back on April 1st. Four and a half minutes until the end of the blackout period. Time to splash down, 11 minutes, 33 seconds. The landing and support officer reports that the P3 has acquisition on Integrity. Three and a half minutes left in this blackout period. This is a visualization of the plasma buildup around the spacecraft and the repelling of that heat on Integrity's heat shield. Flight Dynamics reports that airborne assets in the vicinity of the splashdown zone do have a visual on integrity. Still 2 minutes and 40 seconds left in our blackout period. Time to splashdown, 9 minutes, 35 seconds. Multiple airborne assets as part of the recovery team all have visuals on integrity. And the WB-57 flying in the splashdown zone also has a visual. And the Navy helos also have visuals. We're still in the blackout period. Still do not have communications from the crew. We're standing by for communications from the crew. We should be out of the blackout period less than a minute from now. We are now processing data from integrity. Landing and support officer reports the small boats are en route to the splashdown target zone. Passing through 150,000 feet, our trajectory is perfect. We're getting intermittent views of integrity. Still waiting to establish voice communication.
Integrity, Houston, comm check, post-blackout.
Houston, Integrity, we have you loud and clear.
Your trajectory is nominal, and your recovery teams have visual.
Guidance looks good.
No action for the enabled internal camera controller fail.
Big cheers from the viewing room here in Mission Control as voice communication reestablished with Commander Reed Wiseman. For America and a waiting world, integrity is 5.5 minutes away from coming home. Passing 100,000 feet now. Range to splashdown 19 nautical miles.
Integrity, impact to the camera controller fail is no cab 1 views of the chutes.
Integrity.
We're processing good data through the GPS system. A good view of integrity, time to splashdown 4.5 minutes. And a view of integrity from the WB-57. We're at 50,000 feet.
Wow.
The pyros are armed for forward bay cover jettison.
Shoots away.
And there go the first series of parachutes. And we're on drogues.
And Houston, we're visual 2 drogues out the window.
2 good drogue shoots. Next up,
We copy, we see them.
Next up, the deployment of pilot parachutes that will pull the main chutes out. Time to splash down 3 minutes and 10 seconds. Perfect descent rate according to flight dynamics.
Good rates on 2 drogues.
We see the same on board.
Passing through 10,000 feet, still on drogues. Main chute deploy. We're at 5,000 feet. Search and recovery beacon has been activated on integrity. And we have 3 good main chutes. Good 3 main chutes, good reefing, good descent rate.
Good rates, and we see 3 good-looking parachutes. Integrity. Cabin pressure indicates no need for hydrazine checks.
Integrity copies.
This is a perfect descent for integrity. Its crew sounding hale and hearty on board. Time to splash down 1 minute, 15 seconds. Integrity about to complete a journey spanning 694,481 miles from its launch from the Kennedy Space Center back on April 1st, and a trip around the moon. Passing through 1,000 feet.
Houston Integrity, splashdown, sending post-landing command now.
Splashdown confirmed.
Copy splashdown, waiting on VLDR.
Splashdown confirmed at 7:07 p.m. Central Time, 5:07 p.m. Pacific Time. From the pages of Jules Verne to a modern-day mission to the moon, a new chapter of the exploration of our celestial neighbor is complete. Integrity's astronauts back on Earth. And the landing and support officer reports the vehicle is stable 1. We still will be deploying the crew module uprighting system to maintain that orientation. A perfect bullseye splashdown for Integrity and its 4 astronauts. The unofficial splashdown time, 7:07 and 47 seconds p.m. Central Time. We'll get that refined for you. That would put the end of the mission at a mission elapsed time of 9 days, 1 hour, 31 minutes, 35 seconds. And we're configuring for very low data rate. Once again, splashdown occurring in the Pacific, southwest of San Diego at 7:07 and 47 seconds p.m.
Integrity Houston, comm check on VLDR.
Houston, we have you loud and clear on VLDR. How us?
We have you the same. We'll meet you over in post-landing.
Perfect communications established.
A journey. We are stable 1, 4 green crew members.
Houston copies all.
Reed Wiseman reporting 4 green crew members. That is not their complexion. That is the fact that they're in great condition. That's what that means. So stable 1, upright. The crew module uprighting system is being deployed. The 5 airbags being inflated through helium to maintain the upright configuration for the vehicle. This was a textbook entry and a textbook touchdown for Integrity. Reed Wiseman, Victor Glover, Christina Cook, and Jeremy Hansen back on Earth after a journey around the moon. We continue to monitor the functioning of the CMOOS system. The airbags are being inflated to maintain a stable 1 or upright configuration. And there's a good view from one of the naval helicopters hovering overhead. Reed Wiseman reporting 4 green crew members, meaning they're all in excellent shape.
Integrity Houston for SAR beacon and radio.
SAR beacon is in 406 and we're powering the radio now. Go ahead.
We see the beacon on, however, the recovery team is not seeing the signal. Your SAW radio uses the same antenna, so you may run into trouble with the radio.
Okay, copy. We are also powering up the sat phone now.
So integrity is in great shape, and as the crew continues its post-splashdown timelined activities on board, Reed Wiseman once again reporting that all 4 crew members are in excellent shape. And we have 5 inflated airbags to maintain an upright configuration so that the recovery team can now begin a slow approach to the vehicle. Meanwhile, here in the flight control room, Entry Flight Director Rick Henfling is polling his team of flight controllers for the start of powering down the vehicle after a thorough systems check. We have no toxic gases to be concerned about, so the recovery personnel can approach the vehicle, but not until we have powered down the spacecraft. That's expected to take a few more minutes. Integrity back on Earth following its historic flyby of the moon. It was, for all intents and purposes, a textbook mission.
On 28 per hour remain on this frequency.
We copy.
Reed Wiseman indicating some trouble with the SARSAT phone on board. But that's not an issue. What is more important is that the vehicle is solid. No issues as we begin the power down of the vehicle to begin the recovery process. The propulsion officer here in Mission Control reports that we have safed the prop system on integrity.
Can you say again? That was very weak and broken.
Integrity, Houston did not call.
Copy that, Houston. It might have been on the SAR radio. Stand by.
All of the milestones were executed in perfect fashion. Integrity entering the Earth's atmosphere right on time, reaching its peak speed shortly after a blackout period began. We emerged from the blackout period, but the recovery imagery airborne assets were able to pick up Integrity's descent almost immediately through entry interface, tracking the vehicle all the way down. And finally, you saw the sequence of chute deployments. First, the forward bay cover being pulled off the top of the vehicle by a series of 3 parachutes. Then the drogue chutes were deployed, followed by the 3 main chutes that slowed the splashdown velocity of Integrity to just 19 miles an hour.
Integrity Houston, with no joy on SAR and SAT phone, we'd like you to command an additional 15 minutes for a total of 30-minute power down delay.
All right, Jackie, we have selected T/D+30. No joy on SAR radio or sat phone. And stand by, we have the master diver on SAR radio. Please hold comms.
Hey Lily, excuse me, hey Jackie, we just got the master diver on SAR.
A good view of one of the fast boats.
Integrity Houston, if you are happy with your comm with Master Diver, you can go back to the 15-minute power down.
Okay, stand by. Yeah, we'll confirm here in a second.
The crew on board Integrity coordinating with the flight control team in Houston here in Mission Control on the timing of the power down of the vehicle, which will be the precursor to the recovery teams approaching the spacecraft. There are no issues with Integrity. We've had a bit of broken capability in establishing a SARSAT or satellite phone communications capability between the crew on board Integrity and the recovery team. That will get sorted out here shortly. There's plenty of cooling on board Integrity, so there's no rush to begin the power down.
To call you on the sat phone and not getting an answer there either.
Concur, we haven't had anything come through.
Let's take a little break. We'll come back. We have other stuff to dig into tonight, and we'll just keep an eye on that as they work to bring the crew back onto first a ship and then back on dry land.
Brightleaf Innovations is excited to offer our newest investment opportunity, the Turn Easy Bed Storage Solution.
Turns with a touch, spins all the way around. Every little thing you need is easy to be found. No more clutter, no more mess on the floor. Just spin it, reach it, you don't search anymore. Turn easy bed, spin your world around. Storage made simple, the best you found. Shelves your way, keep the mess away. Charge it, store it, night or day. Custom shelves for your books or your tech. Cozy space for your treasures to protect. Built-in power when you need to recharge. Smart design that makes your bedroom feel large. Turn easy bed, spin your world around. Storage made simple, the best you found. Shelves your way, keep the mess away. Charge it, store it, night or day.
Designed and developed by Brightleaf Innovations. Proudly Canadian and patent pending in North America. Turn Easy Bed transforms how you live.
To learn more about this innovative new product idea and exciting investment opportunity, call 519-784-0222 or visit brightleafinnovations.com.
Back in Canada, not far from where I live, investigation ongoing into a shooting at Lambton College. That's up in Sarnia, Ontario, Canada. One man dead. 3 other people hurt, one with life-threatening injuries. The 2 others sustained non-life-threatening injuries. A 20-year-old Sarnia man taken to local hospital for treatment but was later pronounced dead. His name? Dane Nisbet. I guess he is well known in the hockey community, in that community. Police in Sarnia have not confirmed at this point if they were students at the college, but it is being treated as a homicide. I have a photo of the young man who was killed. And there it is. Tragic story. Details still thin at this point, waiting for more information from the authorities. The college posted a response to all of this today, saying Lambton College is deeply saddened to share that an individual has died following a shooting early this morning during a student administrative council event on the Sarnia main campus. 2 other individuals sustained non-life-threatening injuries. This loss is a profound tragedy. We extend our deepest condolences to the individual's family, loved ones, and friends, and to everyone affected by this staggering loss. Our thoughts are with everyone impacted by this senseless act of violence. The Sarnia campus was closed today. The closure, inclusive of all classes and services at the main campus, fire school, skilled trades training center, early child and family center, and community employment services. The college also has a campus in Ottawa. That was not affected by all of this. Nobody arrested at this point. College is not apparently supposed to, police saying that the college itself not believed to have been targeted. I'm not sure exactly what they mean by that, but I'm sure we will get more details in the days ahead. Let me just pop back on here with the coverage of Artemis 2.
That is basically standing by very close to the spacecraft. We're going to go to the deck of the USS John P. Murtha, where Megan Cruz is standing by with Administrator Jared Isaacman.
Hey, Rob, yeah, just such an honor to be able to be here on the ship, to be able to share and experience this moment with everyone together. And of course, as you just said, yes, here with NASA Administrator Jared Isaacman. Administrator, how did you feel getting to witness this and seeing NASA at its best?
Oh, I mean, I'm honestly, I'm still at a loss for words. I mean, you know, like the childhood Jared right now can't believe what I just saw. I mean, almost been waiting my whole lifetime to see this, and then as NASA Administrator, I just couldn't be more proud of the entire workforce, the years, the effort, the late nights, all the hard work from across the country that contributed to this incredible moment right now. And yeah, incredibly grateful too for our teams here on the John P. Murtha right now.
Yeah, look at them behind us here.
Got everybody. Hey, what do you guys think? We just brought some astronauts back from the moon, huh? Unbelievable. Thank you. Yeah, so grateful to the Navy, the sailors that are here, the NASA teams. I mean, this is a joint effort that's on their way right now. These recovery forces are getting out to our Orion spacecraft, to Integrity, to get our astronauts back on the ship safely.
Yeah, and this is not just an accomplishment for NASA. This is an accomplishment for humanity. Again, a historic mission to the moon and back. How does this make you feel, and what do you hope people take away from this?
Well, I'll tell you, you know, I think about the crew members that we've all had an opportunity to observe over the last 10 days, right? I mean, they're absolutely professional astronauts. I mean, wonderful communicators, almost poets. But then I think these were the ambassadors from humanity to the stars that we sent out there right now. And I can't imagine a better crew than the Artemis 2 crew that just completed a perfect mission right now. So yes, it's a huge moment for everybody, right? I mean, we are back in the business of sending astronauts to the moon, bringing them back safely, and to set up for a series more. I mean, this is not a once in a lifetime, which you hear sometimes around here. Is like, this was a once in a lifetime. No, it's not. This is just the beginning. We are going to get back into doing this with frequency, sending missions to the moon until we land on it in 2028 and start building our base.
Yeah, are we going to build on the momentum for Artemis 3? I mean, it's just around the corner.
Absolutely. So I mean, that's, you know, part of me too. Like, I can't wait to get the crew off of Integrity right now, but also getting Integrity back on this ship so we can start taking a look at it, because all that data is so precious to us right now. I mean, we are going to definitely want to take a good look at the thermal protection system. We're going to want to download all the data they couldn't transmit back to us and use that to inform Artemis 3. But we're already making progress, right? You had SRB segments already showing up at KSC. Core stage for Artemis 3 is rolling out on April 20th. We're getting Mobile Launcher 1 back in vehicle assembly building. So yes, there is a lot to celebrate right now on a mission well accomplished for Artemis 2, and at the same time, we got to start getting ready for 3.
Amazing. And last question, you know, for people who joined us for all 10 days to see what we can accomplish together with our international partners, what do you think about the fact that we're going to keep doing this more and more and more?
It's incredibly exciting. I mean, yes, it's the contributions, like the best and brightest across the NASA workforce from across the country, our industry partners, our international partners. We had a Canadian Space Agency astronaut on board in Jeremy. We had the European Service Module. And you think, in the days leading up to this launch, I mean, 48 hours prior to launching Artemis 2, I was meeting with the Italian Space Agency. We signed a memorandum of understanding to build a habitation module on the moon. I mean, you have countries, all of our allies and partners coming together saying, we are committed to this effort, we are returning to the moon, we're doing it to stay, we are building that enduring presence, we are going to master the skills on the surface of the moon so someday we can undertake missions to Mars. It's just an incredibly exciting time, and we're not going at it alone, we're bringing everybody along with us.
Absolutely. And speaking of everyone, one more time, we're going to ask the crew here, you guys ready to land on the moon? Awesome. I love that. Okay, well, thank you so much, Administrator. Appreciate you being here. We're, of course, going to stay on to watch the crew get extracted from Orion, so stay tuned, and we'll see you back here shortly.
All right, we'll keep an eye on it as we work our way through the evening. And the big liberal convention getting lots of headlines. Still even tonight. The national convention is in full swing in Montreal. Over 4,500 delegates there, a record crowd. It's a 3-day deal. They will be discussing policy, party building. Now, day 2 just wrapped up hours ago. And Carney riding a wave of, I would call it honeymoon period popularity after having been elected Canada's new Prime Minister. There's always a honeymoon period. He's enjoyed, I'd say, an extended honeymoon period. We'll see how he fares in the next year. Delegates have spent today in panel discussions talking about strengthening Canada's international partnerships, fighting crime and hate. We discussed Bill C9 last night, and advancing reconciliation with Indigenous peoples. They also heard from newly minted Liberal MP Marilyn Gladu, the former Conservative and most recent floor crosser. She crossed the floor this week. This brings the party within striking distance of a majority government, 1 seat shy, and by-elections coming up. It looks like the Liberals will get that majority. Gladu told delegates she fully supports core Liberal values, including a woman's right to choose. She has sort of stolen the show to this point. I have a clip from Marilyn Gladu, and also we just brought you that tragic story from Lambton College. That's the area where she represents constituents. And she says that she across the floor because that's what her constituents wanted, and that she was doing what she needs to do to serve them best. Let's pick up the clip, and you can hear it right from her.
Good evening, all. It's a critical moment for Canada. We have challenges, but we have opportunities to build a stronger country than anyone can take away from us. I've watched the Prime Minister and all the things he's doing since he's been elected, the things he's driving forward, fast-tracking, building, nation-building projects, diversifying our trade, strengthening our defense, combating crime, and building more homes. These are the priorities that meet this moment for our country. These are the priorities that my constituents want, that Canadians share, and that the Mark Carney Liberal team is delivering on. This is a moment for us to unite as Canadians, to do the work to build the nation in response to unjustified U.S. tariffs. That takes serious leadership and a credible plan. And I know that Prime Minister Mark Carney brings both. And I'm ready to put my talents and experience towards the task as your newest Liberal MP. This is how we will succeed together. Whether it's loggers in British Columbia, oil and gas workers in Alberta, canola oil farmers in Saskatchewan, or petrochemical workers in my own riding of Sarnia-Lambton-Bequejounong, everyone is counting on real leadership and a real plan to build our economy strong. That's what we're here to deliver. For those of you who don't know me, I left a career as a chemical engineer, working globally in hundreds of facilities in over 30 countries in sectors like automotive, plastics, building and construction, pharmaceuticals, nuclear, mining, petrochemicals, and renewable energy. I came to serve this country. I was the first female engineer in the House of Commons when I was elected in 2015, and I'm so glad to see more join. Shout out to Seema Akan. En tant que parlementaire d'expérience, j'ai été élue à 4 reprises et je fais partie de moins de 50 députés à avoir fait adopter 2 projets de loi d'initiative parlementaire. L'un visant à offrir les soins palliatifs uniformes partout au Canada et l'autre visant à protéger les pensions des travailleurs canadiens en cas de faillite d'une entreprise. Ces mesures contribuent à bâtir un pays où nous veillons les uns sur les autres. I know how to look past the usual politics to step up for the constituents who elected me as part of this strong new team in government. We have a Prime Minister who has demonstrated his global experience and his proven ability to negotiate, prioritize, and mobilize. He's building a big tent coalition with Canadians who want to step up and build a stronger, more independent, more competitive economy. I look forward to serving on this team at this pivotal time for this bright future. Merci beaucoup, Montréal, Miigwech, and thanks to all of you.
Oops. So, the convention continues tomorrow. Final day. Delegates will vote on constitutional changes and key policy resolutions, including proposals to restrict social media and AI chatbots for children, censorship. That's what's on the agenda. The main event, 2 p.m. tomorrow, Eastern. Mark Carney giving the keynote address. Of course, the Liberals head into this weekend riding high after their strong election results and recent floor crossings. I'm hearing a lot of talk about more floor crossings possibly going to happen from the Conservatives, maybe even other parties. I don't know. By-election's just days away. And some people pretty upset by the floor crossings. I think that the Conservatives have some soul searching to do, a little reflection in order here, because I'm also hearing even talk about pressure on Poilievre to resign if the Conservatives lose these by-elections. There's talk that he might get the hook, and then they'll be into another leadership convention for the Conservatives, maybe looking for a new leader. I'll say this: they've got problems over there in the Conservative camp. If things, you can blame the Liberals all you want and talk about shady backroom deals and speculate, but if things were rosy in the Conservative camp, if the environment was welcoming, or you wouldn't have this happening. There's something wrong in the Conservative Party, and that's why you're seeing these defections. What exactly is it? Well, I've given you, I think, part of the reason, and that's that the campaign strategies that they've employed have misfired. In the last election, I think they didn't read the room right. They were focused on all this negative stuff, which was working to a point until the country faced this existential threat from Donald Trump, and they weren't able to pivot. And they've just continued to double and triple and quadruple down on the negative campaigning until just really within the last couple of weeks, where Poilievre has pivoted and the messaging has turned somewhat more positive, talking more about building. But he has a lot of work to do with a lot of Canadians, because he needs to sell them on him being sort of a cheerleader, not just a critic. And it is the job of the opposition to criticize. That's what they're supposed to do. But if you take it too far, as I think they have, the messaging is just too negative. It's at a time when the country is facing real challenges, economically, socially. When we're under threat, people want to feel like there's somebody there defending the country, and it just didn't come through with the Conservative messaging. Very negative. Don't vote for those guys because Donald Trump isn't a threat. Mark Carney, no, Donald Trump is the threat. And people in the Conservative camp, people blinded by partisanship, I guess, or just because they've been just conditioned to hate the Prime Minister, whether it's Trudeau, Carney, or whoever comes next to hate the most. They've just lost sight. They can't see that there's a problem on the Conservative side. It isn't enough to just sit there and crap all over everything. You have to offer something positive to people as well, and that has not been resonating in the Conservative messaging. I think it goes right to the heart of the problem, and that's partly why you're seeing these defections. It isn't just because they're being offered some sweetheart deal or a bunch of money. There's a problem with the Conservatives. It'll play out. We'll see what's going on, and maybe even within the next few weeks. Let's get through these by-elections and see what happens. The other thing is, Carney has been acting very much like a Conservative, governing in a way that, he has been stealing planks from the Conservative platform, cutting the carbon tax, his economic policies. Even Liberals are complaining in a way because they're saying he's governing just like a Conservative. This could be a Harper government. Yeah, it's true. But once he gets the majority and he can then get all of his MPs to vote in lockstep with him and just get stuff through, he doesn't need to compromise. We'll see what he does then. If you don't have to negotiate in order to get legislation through as a minority government, which he's been doing, then you can just do whatever you want. Then we'll see what his true colors are really like. So give it time. I think things are about to take a real turn. Maybe for the better, maybe for the worse. I'm going to wait and see. Let's go back to Artemis 2 and the recovery. Here we go. Things looking real good there, man. Impressive, actually. This thing went off like clockwork, right? Like right on schedule, right to the minute. Splash down. Now they're just working to recover the capsule and get the crew members out. And I laughed when the commentator said that we have 4 green crew members, and that's not because they're sick. It's because they're in good health and in good spirits. I don't know about you, though. I think I might be a little green upon re-entry. Mach 33. Holy smokes, what a ride. And holy smokes is right. They were concerned about the heat shield on that capsule. Concerned about the design. But it held up. It did the job. It didn't disintegrate upon re-entry, thank God.
This is Mission Control Houston. Once again, you're watching the initiation of the recovery of the Artemis crew aboard Integrity. All of the Navy divers and the fast boats are now approaching the spacecraft after conducting a hazard assessment. The vehicle has been powered down. Entry Flight Director Rick Henfling now waiting for the life raft, the front porch, to be erected along the side of the vehicle so that the hatch can be opened and the crew members extracted from Integrity, soon to be hoisted one by one into a pair of Navy helicopters for a short flight back to the deck of the USS John P. Murtha. If you missed it earlier, we talked to Flight Dynamics and received a more official touchdown time or splashdown time, as it were, of 7:07 and 27 seconds p.m. Central Time, 5:07 and 27 seconds p.m. Pacific Time. That would equate to a mission elapsed time of 9 days, 1 hour, 32 minutes, and 15 seconds.
Okay. Also, I know that I think this was the CBC Fifth Estate documentary, hour long, 44 minutes on YouTube time, but because of commercials, 44 minutes in length, 44:30, I think. I think it made its television debut tonight, or is about to, but I watched it on YouTube. It's available on YouTube. And I know there was some chat about it last night in the chat, some discussion. I've watched the whole thing, and I can say that I think it was a really good piece. Solid piece of journalism by the Fifth Estate. The report, in many ways, though, really didn't have much new information in it, but it was thorough. And it does provide a good review, I think, of the whole issue. They spoke with pretty much all of the real main players in the saga. It's called the Ostrich Con, and I think that is a pretty accurate title, appropriate for what went on out there and continues to go on even now, tonight, where they're trying to keep this story alive. And I was an outlier throughout the whole thing. Took a lot of abuse. Some people stopped watching this channel. Some people won't talk to me anymore. And you know why? Because I told the truth. I wouldn't bend. I wouldn't fall into lie. I found people lying about stuff. That made me more curious. I started to dig in more, as most of you know. And we went on and on and on with that story for weeks and months because it was the story that just wouldn't quit. But I wasn't in lockstep with the others. Oh, they tried to pull me in, but I wasn't going to sit there and lie to you and contribute to the craziness of it. Talking about liquefied birds and birds being shot from drones and blah, 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 blah. There's those words again, the blah, blah, blah. I'll say this, the CBC piece, they spent months working on it. They spent a considerable amount of money. They traveled so that they could interview in person some of the key players, including John Catsimatidis, the billionaire that I kept telling you about, who owns WABC Radio in New York, who also owns a grocery store chain in New York State. Billionaire. Also, the largest purchaser, because he owns an oil refinery, the largest purchaser of Alberta oil on the U.S. side. I highlighted what he was doing, and he was highlighting the Ostrich story all the way along. And I can only say that the Fifth Estate, really, whether they knowingly did it or not, they basically confirmed in their report pretty much all the stuff that I was telling you. They didn't get to everything because they're more limited in time in a 44-minute report, but they summarized a lot of this stuff, called out the financial scams that I highlighted during the course of our coverage over weeks, highlighted the ongoing fundraisers, and they also highlighted the controversy surrounding the claims that these birds were special in some way, that they possessed very unique antibodies and that they were invaluable birds. But the CBC confirmed in their reporting what I was telling everyone all the way along. There was really nothing special about these birds. It was never an appropriate facility for doing any kind of valid scientific research. The environment was not properly controlled. The claims persist from supporters and certainly from the farm owners. But you watch the report. It's balanced. They gave everyone an opportunity to speak their mind, state their case. I think it was pretty fair overall. But what they didn't do, and this is why it's real journalism, is they didn't just let people lie and not challenge it. When these claims were made, they went and checked it out to see if it was true or if it wasn't true. And these, as I've been showing you, they've been lying. They were lying before the bird flu outbreak at the ostrich farm. They were lying to people that they were taking money from as investments in the ostrich business. It's all laid out in a very encapsulated, summarized way throughout this Fifth Estate piece. They went and they did an interview with John Catsimatidis, talked to him about his ties to MAGA as a supporter of the Trump administration. They talked a little bit about Dr. Oz and RFK Jr. poking their nose into the affairs of the farm, highlighted that. And they held Catsimatidis to account, asking him about his interviews with Katie Pasitny from the farm, the face of the farm, and the claims that these birds were special and filled with very unique antibodies, and the scientific research, which he amplified on his radio station, beaming it all over New York State and even into Canada and worldwide on the internet. I've got a clip from the CBC piece here.
But had anyone in the Trump administration seen a shred of evidence there was any successful scientific research on the Edgewood farm?
Here's my concern for you, John. I believe the people who run this farm have told you things that simply aren't true.
It's possible. It's possible. But then I'm saying to you, Do you think Secretary Kennedy, Dr. Oz, the head of the FDA, I forget his name, all these people, that they're stupid, all stupid?
So is there any truth to the claim they were conducting innovative scientific research on the Edgewood farm? To answer that question, we took a hard look at the business plans of the farmer's research company, Struthio Bioscience. The Fifth Estate found exaggerated and outright false claims made to potential investors. For starters, they claimed a Harvard medical professor was on their scientific advisory board. So we contacted Dr. Alessio Fasano. In an email, he wrote he had never even heard of Struthio and found it disturbing that his name was used without his permission.
And we did contact the Harvard professor who was listed on your scientific board of advisors.
Fasano?
Yes.
Yeah.
He said he's never heard of Struthio. And when we said that he was listed in this Struthio prospectus, he found that to be disturbing, the fact that he was listed there, because he was not a scientific advisor.
He was on the list to be.
The brochure also said former Alberta Finance Minister and then Chair of Alberta Health Services, Dr. Lyle Oberg, was on the board of directors, which was true, but...
Did the board meet? Did you sit down and meet with the board and other directors and discuss with them the potential of Struthio?
No.
Did you have, in that Struthio prospectus, and we've taken a look at it, within 5 years they expected revenues of $2.2 billion. Do you consider that to be realistic?
No.
But were you concerned that because your name was lent to this, that was not a realistic proposition that they were making as they were trying to attract investors?
So unfortunately, I didn't agree with the business plan. I don't agree with that kind of escalation in the numbers. But I do agree in the possibility that this could be something more.
But what? The farm owner said they'd worked with a lab in Quebec called Immune Biosolutions, which told them that initial test results of ostrich antibodies from their eggs were promising.
He said, because even at one point he said, if all of your ostrich eggs are like these eggs, he said this is a game changer.
However, in a statement to the Fifth Estate, Immune Biosolutions said later testing of the antibodies did not demonstrate the quality, purity, or specificity required for therapeutic development. As for the claim the Edgewood farm was a living laboratory,
did you see any proof of any sort of scientific research going on in that farm?
No, absolutely none. And as I say, the facilities don't even lend themselves to that. There was no covered barn. In fact, there was garbage strewn in the farm. The conditions the birds were living in, there was no evidence of any scientific research or any ability to do that.
I found the Struthio Biosciences business plan, which was the best description of the scientific work that they were undertaking. And I think calling it scientific work is quite generous.
What would you call it?
I call it a scam.
Indeed. Scam. A lot of people pulling in a lot of donations. A lot of people making a lot of claims, a lot of live streamers out there, a lot of influencers went out there, as you know. It turned into a media circus. And it wasn't just the farm that was scooping up money. There was a lot of influencers too. How much? Who the hell knows? CBC, Fifth Estate, tracking well over $300,000. And that's just surface level stuff, I think. Here's a little bit more. I'm going to put the link to the Fifth Estate report, which you can watch in its entirety on YouTube. You don't have to wait for TV.
Somebody who doesn't want any credit, they felt for this family, and they helped out.
I saw a lot of cash coming in at certain times. When there was a large amount of people there, we had a cash box set up where people were eating. That's all those people want is money. Everything is about the money.
The Fifth Estate tracked multiple crowdfunding sites. Through these, the farm owners have raised $330,000 and counting.
I spoke to a couple of people who said once the money started coming in, this wasn't about the ostriches anymore. This was about raising money, making money, that you had found a very successful vehicle and for which you could raise money.
Oh. Then we wouldn't be in debt.
Then we, sorry.
We're deeply in debt
Are you?
through this. Oh yeah, lawyers aren't cheap.
Their fundraising message needed emotional impact, and they found it.
You see this? These are our pets.
Those ostriches weren't just oversized lab animals, they were also their pets. Though they weren't always treated as pets. For decades, Universal Ostrich Farms was slaughtering their ostriches, not saving them, selling ostrich meat for burgers, sausages, and steaks. They even sold ostrich dog food. In May, 5 months into the standoff, UniversalOstrich.ca went down and redirected visitors to SaveOurOstriches.com. The new messaging? Save Barney, Arnold, and Q-Tip, and keep hope alive.
This is Hope, and she is due to be slaughtered by the Canadian Food Inspection Agency.
And they said the CFIA was coming for your pets too. Social media accounts supporting the farm began posting names of CFIA inspectors online alongside death threats.
Our inspectors, our veterinarians, our professionals, they were subjected to threats of harassment, violence, including, unfortunately, sexual violence, in ways I can't countenance at all.
This high-placed CFIA official agreed to speak to the Fifth Estate, but on the condition we protect their identity, even months after the cull.
This wasn't about targeting ostriches. This was much bigger. It's about making sure we protect the industry and human and animal health.
237 days. Happy, healthy ostriches.
But that spring, 2 ostriches died mysteriously weeks apart, both allegedly shot dead.
We don't know who killed the ostrich. It could be anybody. It could be a local, it could be a hunter, it could be big pharma. You know, we just don't know.
Bang. Shot.
Who shot them?
I firmly believe it was done by a drone.
A drone?
A drone, yes.
That sounds like a bit of a stretch, Dave.
Hey, what's going on with the drone warfare in the world?
I understand we're talking about Russia and Ukraine, but we're talking about an ostrich farm in Edgewood.
Tell me, what about Maduro? Then in Venezuela?
Mm-hmm.
How did they get Maduro out of there so easily?
I don't understand the connection to Edgewood.
The connection is, do some research there.
So we had
Edgewood skeptic Deb Peon says many in town had a different theory about how those ostriches died.
The consensus is that 2 birds were shot, but it was by the owners because we're suspecting that they had another outbreak of H5N1. And that was their cover because they had said the last bird to die was in January.
The RCMP is...
Yeah. It's a pretty well-rounded piece. I will go over here to Rumble right now. Put the link to the Fifth Estate report on ostriches. There you go. You can go watch it and assess for yourselves. The saga continues. I continue to dig into it a little bit, but honestly, I have some other weird stuff coming out of there, but I think for tonight we will just leave it alone. I've had more than my fill of the ostriches. I've had a belly full and then some. The damage that has been done because of the crazy stuff that's gone on out at that farm. Shameful. It's changed my views on a lot of people. And I'm saddened by the mania, the psychosis that has come out of that. And I'm saddened by the loss of some friends who, yeah, they lost their minds and still won't talk to me. But I'm not gonna lie. Back in a minute.
Greetings, brave Mavericks. Our quest for truth continues. We go beyond fake news. Together we expose propaganda. Together we pull others out of rabbit holes. We are maverick thinkers. We are all unique individuals, defenders of individual rights and freedoms, credible, trusted, grounded in reality. Maverick News, Maverick News. Defending free speech, Donate at freedomreporters.com. Do it now. Tomorrow may be too late. Maverick News. The world is watching.
And also Donald Trump. Coincidence? Just dumb luck. Right? Another sealed file. That crocodile smile. We did our best, says the DOJ, while the truth just fades away. Another news spin. No one will win except the rich guys with gold ID cards and closets full of secrets behind steel bars. Just a little glitch. A billionaire's privilege. That's the sound of the case. Closed.
We are back. Let's check in here again with Artemis 2.
And so what are they doing here?
So we've got the lower line that will secure the inflation device before we inflate it. That gives us the go-ahead that it's secure in its space, and then we'll inflate it. And then once that is done, we'll undo all the carabiners and get this orange line on top tied in the same fashion. And then this will be secure to the capsule, and the astronauts can safely take their first steps out of the capsule onto the front porch.
Okay, and how long will it take them to set up the stabilization collar?
We should definitely be able to handle this in under 10 minutes.
Okay, wow. And then you just mentioned the front porch. So basically, after they set up this stabilization collar, then they set up what's called the front porch here.
That's correct.
Okay, and what's the front porch?
Front porch is basically a bigger waiting room for the astronauts to sit in while we wait for the helicopters to show up and grab them.
Okay, so the medical team that was inside with the crew, they're going to help them out and onto the front porch?
That is correct.
And then what happens here?
We have higher trained medical personnel also on board the front porch that will give them lookovers and just make sure they're okay while we wait for the helicopters to show up.
Okay. How does it feel, I mean, your team, you, to be part of a mission that's returning astronauts from the moon in more than 50 years?
We all feel extremely honored to be a part of this, as well as a bigger mission for the Navy and joining up with NASA to do great things.
And do you feel like you and your team are ready?
Yes, very ready.
Cool. All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Once again, the recovery operations are continuing out in the Pacific. We shortly should see that life raft, the front porch, erected alongside the side hatch of the vehicle.
And we have our Maverick Midnight Matinee feature presentation coming up. I will throw it out there for any guesses.
A number of flight controllers have come into the flight control room to receive congratulations from entry flight director Rick Henfling. But we're going to stick with our operations out in the Pacific as we await the extraction of the 4 crew members who are reported to be in excellent condition.
I'll give you a few clues about what tonight's movie is. I'll start to narrow it down. Just any wild guesses yet?
Again, while we stand by for that front porch to be erected alongside of the side hatch of the vehicle, let's go back to the USS John P. Murtha and Megan Cruz. Megan?
Clue 1, it's a movie from the 1940s.
Hey, Rob. Pausing now to listen to some internal audio loops. Again, the operations team here on the ship communicating with everyone out on the water. It seems like currents are hindering them a little bit from unfurling and inflating the stabilization collar as well as the front porch. But again, the requirement to get the crew out within 2 hours of splashdown, plenty of time. So no concerns just yet. But as calm as the water looks, yeah, it looks like it's hindering the teams just a tad.
The movie is also something of a psychological drama. That's a second
some
clue.
Of our shots, that side hatch still open. Again, inside there are now 8 people inside. 4 divers, Navy divers, all with medical training, each assigned to an astronaut each. Making sure that they're comfortable.
No, it's not the birds and not the Twilight Zone. It's not Fly Me to the Moon.
As you've heard us say in the broadcast, you know, they expect a little bit of discomfort. Again, these astronauts just traveled back to Earth at 25,000 miles an hour, a nearly 695,000 mile journey around the moon.
And you're kind of lukewarm with the birds. Very Luke. Not
Again, 6
not
boats
terribly
out there.
warm.
Lots of gear with them, just in case, right? As we said, the crew reported feeling great. But again, all those folks out there in case they weren't, right? NASA is all about making sure we think about every situation that can happen. And so, of course, wanted to be ready in case any of our astronauts needed
It's a movie about
attention while out there in the water.
What would be a good clue?
You see now teams again trying to set
Insanity.
up the stabilization collar and front porch for the crew.
It's a movie about
to
insanity.
get out of Orion. They need both, right? The stabilization collar will keep Orion from
Conspiracies.
swaying as you see it is doing now. and then they will connect to the front porch to the stabilization
Strangers
collar.
from the third floor or Scarlet
So that the
Streets.
crew
Nope.
can take 2 steps,
Somebody's
and they will be in the front
using the internet, I think. Yeah, that's right, Dragon. You got it. Gaslight. That's the movie for tonight. But I have a version that is not the one that people are familiar with, most likely. Because there's a version from 1944 from Warner Brothers that everybody knows, but there's another version that came out before that Warner Brothers tried to suppress. Warner Brothers actually went around trying to buy up every copy of it and destroy it. It's because they were afraid that it was going to take the wind out of the sails of their production in 1944. So the 1940s version, the 1940 version of Gaslight is the version that we have. Not a Hollywood production. This one comes from Britain. So that's going to be our feature presentation tonight. Now, if you are watching our broadcast on YouTube, you have to switch over to Rumble or one of the other platforms that we broadcast on, because YouTube doesn't like it when we run our Maveirck Midnight Matinee on their platform. So off we go to Rumble and the other channels, and that's where you'll find us. And that's where our watch party will take place, and you guys can comment and participate on those other platforms tonight. So let's get things cranked up here, because we're quarter past the hour now. And we've seen the splashdown. We know what the drill is now. They'll be getting those astronauts back up on dry land shortly. But we need to get the show on the road here. So let's take a little break. We'll run... what shall we run from Maverick and the News Brothers tonight to kind of cap things off? Something appropriate, if we can. I'm not sure. Well, since we're watching the splashdown, let's go interstellar, shall we? Here's MAGA Mars, Maverick and the News Brothers. We'll come back on the other side with tonight's Maveirck Midnight Matinee feature presentation, Gaslight.
He's got a plan, it's bold and grand, taking over land, sea and sand. Canada's ours, Greenland's in the mix, the Panama Canal's just another fix. But Mars, oh Mars, you pesky red sphere, your spying drones are making it clear. It's a threat to Earth, a cosmic sin, but don't worry folks, he'll make Mars great again. MAGA Mars, you're the 53rd state. Under Trump, your future is great. With Elon Musk and the Space Force too, we're slapping tariffs on your Martian crew. Make Mars great, yeah, make Mars ours. Wave that flag on the red rock stars. We'll impose sanctions, taxes, and fines. Martian exports know they're crossing the line. The Martians cry foul, but Trump doesn't care. He'll build a space wall floating up there. Elon's on board with rockets ablaze. The stock market's loving this Martian craze. He says, trust me folks, I know the deal. Martian gold is ours, this plan is real. MAGA Mars, you're the 53rd state. Under Trump, your future is great. With Elon Musk and the Space Force too, we're slapping tariffs on your Martian crew. Make Mars great, yeah, make Mars ours. Wave that